Just a heads
Record?
oh, sorry. Just wanted
No,
to
go
say
ahead.
I have to feed Marley at some point, so when I turn my video off, that is
Oh
why.
yeah, no problem. We go an hour, so if you need to go, I'll send you the recording, and if you last through it, beautiful.
Good.
All right,
Yoga, so
cool.
try to do as much as I can.
Like it. Pentacle pose is where we start. So you can make your way to your mat, and traditionally pentacle pose is arms extended overhead. It's like making a V shape with your arms and then spreading the legs out as wide as they'll go comfortably. But in the interest of inclusivity and making room for whatever is happening in your body, if that doesn't work for you, please rearrange the arms, the legs, do exactly what you need to do so that this feels like a place where you can truly land, a place where I still do. I still think about it like if the opposite of carrying the weight of the world throughout the day, whatever that looks like, right? Your job, your family life, um, the opposite is allowing the world to hold the weight of you. So let yourself, over the next 5 breaths, move in this progression towards doing less. You're taking an inhalation through the nose, and as you exhale, do less. Feel heavy. Notice the parts of you that are overactive, extremely engaged. Give them permission to let go. So, at its core, yoga is really just a practice, like a whole system of healing, curing, addressing the things that ail you and the things that ail us as a bigger entity, culture, society, whatever you want to call it. So as a gesture of taking on the practice wholeheartedly, use the next few breaths, right? Now that you've landed, now that you're here being held, to let really all of you arrive in this moment. So there's no part of you that you need to exile. There's no part of you that you have to rationalize away. Let the parts of you that are confident and unsure and anxious and insecure, let all of them show up here. And just like you used your exhalation to do less, use your inhalation to invite, right? Receive the parts of you that you don't always love to welcome. Put one hand over your heart space and one hand over your belly space in this really symbol, this gesture of connecting to your heart and your core, right? Your soft spots and your strength source. And just sitting with the power that is balance, right? You can't be one thing all the time. Just take a moment. Begin to roll over onto whatever side works for you. We're going to come to a sit and do some seated poses to start this evening. What I forgot to tell you is that you need a strap, something that looks like a strap. So on your way up, hopefully there's something that will fit the bill close enough by that you're not too disrupted. And then please sit on your bottom and extend your right leg out long and bend your left knee so the sole of your left foot is just nestled inside your right upper inner thigh. And loop the strap around the ball of your right foot and create enough slack on the strap that you can lift up through the crown of your head, extend your arms, but also have your shoulder plugged onto your back. And it doesn't matter how far your hands are away from your foot, that's totally irrelevant. And then push the foot into the strap as you create a little tension. Strap pulls back on the foot. Lift your heart really high. And then as you exhale, let your elbows widen. Keep your back flat as you fold forward, chin towards toes. Inhale to come back up through center. The arms will straighten again. Push the foot into the strap so you can lengthen up through the crown of the head. Breathe in. As you exhale, elbows wide, fold forward. Chest towards your toes. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Maybe your hands are going to get closer. For me, that's already happening. Last breath in. And exhale, elbows wide, chest towards your toes. So you're not collapsing into the back. Keep lifting your chest. And then take the strap in your right hand, bring your elbow inside the thigh. And you might have to slide the hand closer to the foot for this. We're going to take that side stretch. Extend your left arm up and overhead, kind of toward your right toes. Keep your toes pointing up. Keep a little slack or keep the strap taut. And move your neck around so you have no tension, and move your head around so you have no tension in the neck. And breathe. Feel that side body stretch. All right. Lift yourself up through center and release your left hand down. You can unhook the strap, keep your left leg as it is. Bend your right knee. This doesn't have to look like square pose. We're going to do a little foot massage for ourselves. So for me, I can bring the foot way up here. Do whatever works for you. Bend the foot. We're not going to fold forward. We're going to stay right here. So with your left elbow or your right elbow, whichever one makes more sense, bring your elbow right into your foot and kind of roll the elbow around in the fleshy part of your foot. And you can move into the arch of your foot, right? You definitely know best where in your foot you hold the most tension. I'll show you another thing we can do with the feet, and then I'll give you a couple moments to explore. Take your hands like claws, grab your right big toe, and then with your right hand, right big toe with your right hand, other 4 toes with your left hand, and create a little space like you're making a V between that, and then start to, my teacher calls this wishy-washy, like you're trying to scrub something. Just kind of work the webbing of your foot open. It should feel pretty good. Oh. And then you're going to do that progressively. So with your right hand, you'll take your first 2 toes and the left hand, second 3 toes, and give yourself a wishy-washy. So you can do that. If that's not working for you, you can go back to elbow in the foot. If this is working for you, take your time. It's a very scientific exercise called wishy-washy. Go for it. Uh, uh, and then with your left hand, kind of cup the top of your toes and let the whole top of your foot arch. You're folding your toes back. And then push the toes back towards the ankle or towards the top of the foot, towards the shin. Good. And then take just another couple moments, work through anything there that felt like it offered the most relief for you. And you can chime in too if it feels worth it to let me know if this is really working for you. Or you're like, nah, could have done without that. Okay. As we switch sides, the right leg's going to be bent. So if you want to take another moment of reaching towards the right foot or taking another side stretch just to kind of give yourself relief from having the knee bent, go ahead. And then we'll switch sides. So the right knee will bend, the foot will come inside the left thigh, and you'll loop the strap around the ball of your left foot. The toes point straight up. The arms are straight. So adjust the length of the strap as needed. And then the shoulders can plug onto your back so the chest is really lifting. And check out for a moment. It's like a tug of war. Pull the strap back on the foot and then push the foot into the strap. So you're somewhere between. Take a breath in to lift the crown of the head up. As you exhale, widen the elbows as you reach your chest toward your toes. Ooh. We'll do that 3 more times. You can move on your own. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Move both straps into the left hand. Slide the hand as far forward towards the foot as you need to. The elbow can come inside the thigh. And then pivot the chest open. Extend your right arm up and perhaps over your head, reaching towards your left foot. It doesn't have to touch, not necessary at all. You're just getting into that right side body stretch. There will be a couple more of these. And then release the strap. Come back up to sit and then bring the left foot up on the right thigh so you can get your elbow in it. Grab your toes when you're ready for wishy-washy. Oh. And then we did the top of the foot stretch. Take your time. Sole of the foot stretch. Give yourself plenty of time to even out the sides. Okay, we move along, come back to center, extend both legs out long, loop the strap around the balls of both feet. It's always nice when you have feedback. So let the strap make contact with that whole band across the ball of your foot. So for me, I always notice that like the knife edges of my feet touch it, and then I have to do a lot more work to push the balls of the feet into it, which is maybe some information about what happens in our standing poses too. So push the feet into the strap, draw the knees down towards the floor, engage the quads, take a big breath in, reach up through the crown of your head as you exhale, widen the elbows, chest towards toes. So big hamstring stretch here. Breathe in. Exhale, elbows wider, chest reaches towards your toes. Maybe you just move 1 millimeter. Last breath, inhale. As you exhale, drop the strap round into your spine. Let your hands, your arms, your head hang. Let the feet flop open to the side. Let's take another breath or two. When you're ready to move, you have plenty of time. Tabletop position, if you're there quickly and you're finding yourself with some time, move any way you like. You'll also need blocks. I forgot to tell you guys to get set up. I'm terribly sorry. Move your blocks towards the top of your mat. They will come in very useful. And then if you've been working through some cat and cow, let's meet all together in a neutral spine. So flat back. Head is an extension of the spine. Push into your hands to really straighten the arms, lift out of the shoulders. And then from the tip of the tailbone, start to tilt your tailbone up. So your low back ends up in what is almost could be considered a cow spine. So low back and cow spine, and then very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, start to move through the middle back like cow spine. Very challenging here. And then all the way up towards the chest. So the upper back ends up in cow spine too. Look up at the end. Take a big breath in here. And then as you exhale from the tailbone, start to curl the tailbone down towards the notch of the knees. The whole low back ends up looking like it's in cat spine. And then start to move into the middle spine for cat, all the way into the upper spine for cat. Let the head drop, gaze at the navel. We'll reverse this time. As you inhale, start to lift up with the head. So the rest of you is in cat still. And then let the chest drop a little bit between the upper arms. Really isolate the upper back. So that's in cow spine. Your low back is still in cat. Let the middle back drop lower, all the way towards the low back. Let the tailbone curl up. And then we'll start at the head again. Let the gaze drop, chin drops. From the upper back, start to find cat spine. Middle back finds cat spine. Keep the tailbone curled up for a moment. And then all the way to the low back. You're in full cat. Do that one more on your own. It doesn't matter to me if you start at the head or the tail. Go very slowly. You're articulating every vertebra. Very nice, Christopher. Very nice. And you'll notice you kind of get stuck in some places, right? The low back has more mobility with cow, and the upper back has more mobility with cat. And that's okay. This is how you kind of articulate and build on range of motion. And then after you're done with this round, we'll move along. So back to neutral spine should feel pretty familiar. Extend your right foot back towards the back of the mat. Keep your toes tucked. And then another little calf stretch. Just start to rock back and forth, back and forth. Breathe. and then spin the heel down. So you're like in a warrior 2-foot. You can use the left shin like a kickstand to float the right fingertips up towards the sky. And then turn the palm down, reach up and overhead. So you have that big side stretch on the right. Do whatever you like to do here. Nice. Take another breath. Yum, yum, yum. Right hand down. Right knee meets left knee. Very simple switch sides. Send your left toes to the back of the mat. Rock back and forth. Yeah, find some good spots in there. And then spin the heel to the ground like a warrior 2-foot. You can use the right shin like a kickstand, left fingertips to the sky. Yes, very nice. Turn the palm down, reach overhead. There's that nice side body stretch for you. Do what you like to do. Glue the pointer finger knuckle to the ground. Good. And then left hand down, left knee down. One round of cat and cow, just the way you like it. Good. Keep your toes tucked as you bring your seat towards your heels. Give yourself a child's pose with a foot stretch, toes tucked. So go back as far as you can. Inhale to rock your way forward like a long table. And exhale, downward facing dog when you're ready. Kitty cones. No. Good. Pedal out your feet. Hands pushing down and away on the mat. Head is soft, jaw is soft. Your pointer finger knuckle is really connecting to the ground. Yes. Good. The next time you inhale, ripple your way forward to plank. And then exhale in the way that makes the most sense for you, lower slowly to the earth. Yes, very nice. Widen your hands off the mat, prop up onto fingertips. And then lift your chest, peel your way off the mat. Yeah, little serpentine cobras. Dip your left shoulder towards the midline, gaze under your right armpit. Yeah, inhale, come through center. Exhale, zip your right shoulder and gaze under your left armpit. Inhale through center. 2 more breaths here. You can repeat, you can stay. Just breathe. Very nice. The next time you come through center, lengthen as you lower back to the mat. Bring your forehead to the ground, slide your hands in at your low ribs. Draw the inner thighs towards the midline. Connect all 10 toes to the mat. And then lift your chest up off the mat. Keep your chin tucked in towards the notch of your throat for a moment. This little baby cobra. Soften your shoulders, down your back. Very nice. And exhale, push your way back to downward facing dog. And exhale big time when you get there. Yeah. All right, let's get right into it. Step your right foot forward to the top of the mat. Make sure your blocks are near. Settle your left knee down. Climb your hands up onto your hips. Keep your back toes tucked for today. And then just do a little rocking action. Feel what it's like to let the knee go beyond the toes, how that opens up the thigh. Push down into your left toes. So you're keeping the glute engaged and you're keeping the side body wrapping forward. And then get to a good neutral place. Extend your arms overhead. Hook your thumbs, right thumb in front of left thumb. Lean up and over to the right. So you have that big left side body stretch. Yeah, breathe in and out. It feels so good in my body. Inhale your way through center. As you exhale, float your hands to the mat. Please grab your blocks for today. Peel your left knee off the mat. and push your right leg straight. So blocks on the highest height, unless you're really feeling open, and then you can move them down any height you want. Feel the big toe ball now pushing down into the mat, just like it pushed into the strap. Keep the leg straight as you inhale. Find a flat back, reach your heart forward, send your tailbone back, changes everything. As you exhale, just like a cat spine, round into the back, gaze up at the navel. Inhale, heart moves forward, chest moves forward. Exhale, round. One more, inhale. And exhale. Bend ever so slightly into your right knee. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Hands can stay on blocks as you inhale, find a halfway lift here. As you exhale, fold. Roll your way up to stand. Extend your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, hands down to heart center, stand down into your right foot. Bring your left knee up to hip height. Put a little bend in your right knee. So I'm going to give you options here. You'll play with this, okay? As you exhale, send your left leg back. It doesn't have to straighten. Reach your right hand back. Reach your hands down like they could tap the blocks. And then inhale, come back to stand, left knee towards your chest, hands to heart. We'll keep going. We'll do 5 more just like that. Exhale, send the leg back. If you're like, this is too hard on my balance, no problem. Hands to blocks and just knee to nose and send the leg straight back behind you. So you should feel your hamstring on your right leg actually working really hard. Ooh. Good. One more wherever you are. And then the next time your left leg goes straight back behind you, soften into your right knee, let your toes find the back of the mat. Circle your left heel down like warrior 2. Right toes turn in as you inhale, cartwheel up and all the way to warrior 2 facing the back of the mat. So your right glute, your right hamstring just worked a lot. Push the thigh back so much, you start to feel relief in the front of the hip here. Arms extend away from heart center, gaze softly over your left fingertips and bend deeper into your left knee. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. No death gripping here, please. Take a big breath in to feel yourself lifting up and out of your feet. And as you exhale, really settle. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Push your left leg straight. Reach your arms up and overhead. Turn your left toes in. As you exhale, fold forward over straight legs, wide-legged forward fold. And let yourself do the things that are calling to you, right? Everything has a seat at the table here. Nothing is not allowed. And then if you didn't move your blocks, they're still towards the top of the mat. Look over towards your right foot. Turn your right toes towards the top of the mat. Walk your hands over. Right hand to the block that's outside your right foot. Left fingertips reach towards the sky. You're in triangle pose. And then just like you did a moment ago in that like modified pyramid shape, send your tailbone back towards your left foot, lengthen out your right side body, soften your right shoulder, and then turn your left palm down, reach your left palm overhead. Maybe you get some of that yummy side body stretch here. Breathe. So your right hand is on a block. Use the hand to absorb some of this weight. Bend into your right knee so you're not straining anything. Keep the knee bent. Inhale, warrior 2 over the right knee. Stay here. Really arrive. Push through the back leg. The thigh moves back in space. Like I start to feel a groin stretch. Like I start to feel this so much in the left leg. It's like more of a left leg exercise than a right leg exercise. And when I say exercise, I don't necessarily mean like fitness. It's like a thing you're doing with it. Last breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat. You can use your blocks. Step back to plank pose. And then lower your knees to the mat if your hands are on blocks. Sink your hips down and forward, bend your elbows a little bit, like a very weird supported up dog. Chest reaches through the windows of your upper arms. And exhale. Downward facing dog will only be there for a second. My cat is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. So down dog. And then we move right to the second side. So left foot steps forward. Right knee comes down to the mat. Hands climb up onto your hips. The right toes stay tucked. So hands on the hips, a couple things. You have a sense of where your hips are in space. So they're never where I think they are. I always need to do a lot of work to wrap the right hip forward and lengthen out the sides of the waists. So let your left knee dip beyond the toes. It's like a little rocking action. Whew. Good. And then when you're stable in a place right between, arms to the sky. This time you'll hook your left thumb in front and make your way into a lean over the left. And bring yourself back through center. Slowly float the hands to your blocks that should be pretty accessible. Lift your right knee up off the mat. You can step it in a footprint. Glue the big toe ball mound of your left foot to the floor as you straighten your left leg. And then move your heart forward as your tailbone goes back. Neck is free and clear. Exhale, elbows bend out wide as you fold. Inhale, heart moves forward. Exhale, let it go and fold. 3 more, follow the sound of your breath. Beautiful. The next time you inhale, bend into your left knee ever so slightly. Step your right foot to meet your left. Keep your blocks just as they are. Inhale, roll all the way up to stand, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Right knee in towards the belly. So 2 options, right? You can reach for your blocks each time you come up and down, or you can keep your hands on the block and just pulse the knee in and out. So as you exhale, tilt forward. You can absolutely put a little bend in your left knee as your right knee moves back. And then inhale, come back up, knee to belly, hands to heart. Just move. Whatever you can do is perfect. Good. Nothing gets you focused like a little balance work. Excellent. The next time your right leg is reaching in a backwards direction, bend your right knee, or bend your left knee, I'm sorry. Let the toes find the back of the mat. Circle the heel down. Straighten your left leg, turn the toes in. Warrior 2 facing the back of your mat. And I'm going to face the front of the mat so you don't have to look at my rear side. All right, and we were here for quite a few breaths on the first side, so get comfy. All right, get comfy with being uncomfy. Get comfy with your breath as your body gives you this message that it's actually not all that comfy. Send the left thigh back as the shoulders soften, right? So you can feel that relief in the front of the hip, the front of the thigh. Last 2 breaths here. As you inhale, almost like you could lift up, squeeze the heels towards the midline, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale, settle. 1 more. Exhale. Inhale, legs straighten, toes turn and arms rise. And exhale, fold forward over straight, strong legs. Take what you need. Look back towards the top of your mat. Turn your left toes to face forward. Bring your left hand onto the block and sweep your right arm to the sky for a triangle situation. Left hand down. Yeah, right arm up. Very good. And then turn the palm down and reach the arm overhead for that side body experience. Soften your jaw, soften your neck. Good. Put some of the weight into your hand so you can bend your left knee and lift up to warrior two. Yeah, very nice. Push into my hand here. Yeah, there you go. Good. Breathe. Settle into your left knee a little more. Track the knee right over the second toe. Yeah, good. Breathe, last breath. Good. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, frame your left foot. Step back to plank pose with or without your blocks and move through a vinyasa that serves you the most. Yeah. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, big sigh out. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. And if you're on blocks, bring them with you. They might be of assistance. You can just walk block print by block print by block print. Yeah, and leave them anywhere within reach. Roll your way up to stand from here. You see me? Okay. Left foot stays down, hands to hips, tree pose, right foot towards the inner left thigh. Yes. And we did this last week. Tree pose is actually, there's so many layers and layers of this pose. It's quite a progression. So think about wrapping your toes back and your heel forward. And notice how that opens your knee a little bit more without letting your right hip come with you. So your right hand is sending your right hip forward. And then bring the knee to center, straighten the leg out in front of you. Any height is fine. Take a little step forward. So you're in like a pyramid position. This is why you have your blocks. Hinge at the hips. Keep your right hip tacking back. Left heel stays on the ground. Forward fold. You're in pyramid. You bring your blocks just under your hands. We've been here sort of before. Take a moment. And then bend your right knee a little bit. Walk your left knee behind your right ankle as you pivot your way down to sit. So I'm going to face you. Christopher always has to straighten his left leg for this. You'll do that as we transition out. You'll rebend the leg, so no problem. You can send the left leg straight. And then you have blocks. So if it makes sense for you, you can bring your right fingertips to a block behind you. Left arm reaches to take hold of the right knee. And then do what you can to ground the right sits bone. And then just breathe here. Here's a hip opener. And we'll do this whole cycle 2 times, and I'll give you options to deepen, and I'll give you the option to repeat what you've just done so that you don't feel pressured to do anything other than what we're doing right now. Lift up through the crown of the head and twist as you exhale. Lift up through the crown of the head. Twist deeper as you exhale. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale, fullest expression of twist. Good. Inhale to unwind. And then you'll come out exactly the way you came in. So you can bend your left knee if it's not already, hands to the floor or to blocks, whatever way you used. You just pivot right back to stand. And then walk your left foot forward to meet your right foot, soften your knees, roll your way up to stand. Right leg is your standing leg, tree pose with your left foot inside your right leg. So hands to hips will give you a sense of where you are in space. Wrap the heel forward, the toes back. So the knee is putting the hip in more external rotation. Good, take a moment. And bring the knee through center. Take a straight leg position for a step forward. And grab your blocks as you fold. So we're transitioning to Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. You can bend into your left knee and step the right knee outside the left foot as you pivot your way down to the ground. So this time your right leg might straighten, not a problem. Left fingertips reach behind you, right arm really hugs. This hurts my shoulder, so I'm not going to do that. Hugs the left knee in. Toes point up if your leg's straight, your right leg's straight. And then move with your breath. So even though we're sitting, and this is kind of a moment of being a little more passive, keep it very active energetically. Last breath here, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Unwind, hands to the ground or to blocks, frame out your left foot. And then pivot your way back up to stand, right foot meets left foot. You're at the top of your mat or thereabouts. Inhale your way to stand, arms to the sky. Exhale, dive right back down. Look up halfway as you inhale. As you exhale, plant your palms, step back and lower. Take a child's pose, doesn't matter to me. We'll meet in downward facing dog. It might make sense for you to put your hands on your blocks at some point so that when you walk again to the back of your mat, you have those supports, the little bricks. And then we'll meet, please, at the back of the mat. The blocks don't have to come all the way back. They can, well, you know what we're doing. And then roll your way up. So on the first round of this, we did tree pose. You are absolutely welcome to explore tree pose again. You're also welcome to take a figure 4 situation here with a little bend in the left knee, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and use your hands on the knee and the ankle to give yourself a little pressure as you sit down into a chair. Oh, feels so good. And if whatever you're doing is making you feel less than, oh, that feels so good, explore something else. Because while part of the practice is to unite our sense of challenge with a sense of ease, right now, my invitation to you is to find something that feels pretty easeful. And then make your way back to standing on the left leg with the right knee in. Take a straight leg position for a little step forward. And then option, you can repeat that spiral down to Ardha Matsyendrasana. I'm actually going to face this way to demo this. Option number 2 is you're gonna follow me into a Gomukhasana seat. So hands on blocks will be extraordinarily helpful. Walk your hands over to the right, over to the right, over to the right. Both knees start to bend, come up onto your tippy toes, pivot the heels back and sit. A plus. A plus to everyone. And then you can release your hands from the blocks. Sit up straight. My hands are resting in my feet. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, let your elbows come wide and fold forward over your shape, or and go deeper into a twist if you're in Ardha Matsyendrasana. And then wherever you are, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to either twist or fold over the legs. Last one, inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist or fold. Take a couple moments wherever you are, breathe. Beautiful. You can bring yourself back to center, whether that's sitting upright or untwisting. Right, hands onto blocks. And you're simply going to unpivot. So walk your hands to the left if you're in Gomukhasana and make your way back to stand. You might have to rearrange the feet a little bit. No problem. Left foot meets right foot and roll your way up to stand. Tree pose or figure 4 pose. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Hi. Breathe. Last breath here. And come up to stand. Left foot steps forward of the right foot. Hands to blocks. If you're taking Ardha Matsyendrasana, knee outside the foot. If you're taking Gomukhasana, walk your hands over to the left. Keep walking, walking, walking. You might have to come up on tippy toes. Pivot your heels to the back, to the long back of your mat. Bend your knees. Right, and then you take a deep breath, like you've arrived where you're going. Rest your hands, lift up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, twist or fold. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen, whatever you're doing that's relative to you. Couple more. And give yourself a moment or two. And whatever expression of this pose is feeling the most like home right now. And take your final breath, preparation to transition. And bring your hands to blocks when you're ready. You can walk your hands over to the right or out in front of you to pivot back up the way you came. In. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. You're towards the top of your mat. You can move your blocks off to the side. Inhale, roll your way up to stand, arms to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Final vinyasa. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the mat, step back. You can lower, take a back bend. You can take child's pose, totally up to you. From downward facing dog or from child's pose or for tabletop position, make your way onto your belly and then flip over onto your back. Very simple. We're gonna start to close out. Does everyone have 2 blocks or 2 pillows or something, 2 supportive things? Yes, Jess. Ariel, do you have two of something? Give me 2. Perfect. Thank you for the visual. Okay, great. All right, so let's take a supported bridge to start. So feet towards midline and slide one of your blocks underneath your sacrum. And a couple options from here. So there's so many things to do from this restful bridge position. I will tell you a couple of them. Don't feel limited to them and take whatever you want. So there's a nice chest opener here. You can mimic pentacle pose with the arms, right? Extend them overhead. You're also welcome to send your legs to the sky for a really supported shoulder stand or legs up the wall situation. Wherever you are with the supported shape, let the weight of your legs really fall into the bowl of your pelvis. We just did so much. We did hamstrings, we did hips, we did ankles, right? And let your legs be heavy. And let your jaw soften. And let your eyeballs roll into the base of your skull. And notice how effort, right? Effort of your practice really gives way to ease. Nothing in life is really an absolute, right? So effort giving way to ease here, it's really in a something you're allowing to happen. So just like effort could not give way to ease, right? How we could really just work ourselves into the ground. Anything on one end of the spectrum could absolutely inform the other, right? So our fears lead us possibly somewhere else, liberation. Just take a few more breaths here. And if your legs are lifted. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. And let's all push into the feet slowly. Slide the block out from underneath you. And then for Shavasana this evening, let's take a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So feet together, knees drop out wide. And then even if you don't think you need it, I invite you to use the blocks because for Shavasana, it's most effective when your body has this entire sense of being supported. So even if your knees splaying out like feels good, I would really ask that you support them anyway so that your groin sensation isn't distracting your brain from really moving into a place of rest. It's very challenging for your thinking mind, which is what we're really trying to transcend here in yoga, to dissolve the senses when there's so much sensation. If that makes sense. So set the blocks up underneath the knees and just a couple times, like roll the head around on the mat. So you're making this like big arc on your ceiling with the nose. I always like to do that just to prepare for a couple moments of stillness so your head is perfectly aligned, right above the true north of you. You can stop when you feel like you've reached that place. And take a few big breaths in and out of the nose. You're all muted, so you can even make them really dramatic, like really exaggerate. A big breath in through the nose and like a huge sigh out the mouth. And final rest, Shavasana. And take a deeper breath in through your nose. Let go softly as your thinking brain reawakens. Try not to overthink your transition back to a weakness. Stay with that intuitive nature of initiating movement when it feels right, and keep that intuition guiding you in your journey up to a seated position. Take your time, you have plenty of it. And when you get there, gather your hands together in front of your heart. It's a very simple gesture, this hands united. But if you think about it, it's like your right hand and your left hand, they represent these extreme hemispheres almost. And when they come together, when they unite right in front of your heart center, it's like a bringing together of all the things that separate you from yourself. And it's this bigger gesture of the things that separate us from each other. And just hold on to that for one final moment, and then bow your chin to your chest. That um, another gesture that, and if on a thinking a thinking level, that doesn't make sense. Somewhere on a deeper level, like in a wisdom mind, mm, you recognize that. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, for sharing your time. It is my pleasure to be among you.